guys, today is Sunday morning, I believe December 8th, and today is my first day of P4, so pretty exciting. As I've said in some of my other blogs, I had thought about just kind of continuing with P3, but I decided that I'm just kind of ready to live life and kind of go into the lifetime phase. And I also just really wanted to test out the protocol and see how, if it really works. Because a lot of people that I've seen, I know it's supposed to work, but a lot of people that I've seen go back into phase one, and so because they have more weight to lose. And while I do have about 9 more pounds to lose to hit my ultimate dream goal of 114, I right now just building my endurance and working out is trumping my desire to get to 114. Now, as some of you know, I would like to get a tummy tuck, and so when that is in the perceivable future, I think that I would be more willing to kind of step back from working out and hit that 114 mark before I got that done. But on to my stats. Today is P4 day 1, and I was 123.6. So I was up 0.2 above my LIW. So for the 21 days of P3, I have, at the very beginning got down to 121 because I still wasn't as hungry and I was still eating around 500 calories. But quickly, went up to 123. And, I've pretty much stayed within, 2 pounds, whether it be 2 pounds below 123 or 2 pounds above 123. Just kind of a little bit of fluctuating. As you know, I've been working out like a mad person since I got back into, since I got into P3. So I'm sure there is, retention from water. I don't know that I've built any more muscle because I did have a body stat analysis done. I had one done right after P2, and that said I was 123.4, I believe, and then my clothes weighed a pound, so about 122.4. Well, I had one just the other day, so basically we can say at the end of my P3, and I was up a pound, but interestingly, my fat was up, not that much, but like from 24.8 to 25.3, and then my muscle mass was like down 0.8 or 0.2, I think just 0.2. So I was a little bummed about that, just because I was like, well, it was my fat, but hello, like I was eating 500 calories for, 37 days, and, upping my calories as much as I have in my fat intake. Clearly that's going to happen. I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Allergies. Anyway, so that's kind of my P4 plans. Yesterday I introduced 2 new things. I had Ezekiel French toast, so 2 pieces of the Ezekiel bread, and no problems, which, I really didn't want to reintroduce gluten just because I know, some of the harmful effects. However, it was in this bread, and I was like, well, we'll just see if it affects me. We'll see how I do, and no effect that I'm aware of. I also introduced a So Delicious sugar-free ice cream bar. And I bought it with the intention of having it in P4, but yesterday was my last day of P3, and as you know, I haven't deviated off this protocol not one single time. So I Googled it, of course, and I saw that a lot of people had it in P3, so I was like, okay, it's one of those mop things, you decide. So introduced that, and today I was down 0.4, so those 2 things seem to do well. For breakfast this morning, I had watched Ronnie's Bliss last night, and she said she had the Ezekiel muffin with cream cheese, and I had bought mine to do kind of like the you know, Canadian bacon, cheese, egg type thing. But I didn't get the Canadian bacon. So I decided to do mine with cream cheese this morning. And I really was wanting that French toast again. But so I put syrup on it, sugar-free syrup. And I had some boar's head bacon with that. And then for lunch just now, I had a piece of my pesto goat cheese chicken. If you're on Facebook, you saw that yesterday. And some broccoli on the side. Last night I had Brussels sprouts with it. But and then, you know, I wasn't really hungry, but I could just tell that I really wanted something. Really just wanted like a little piece of dark chocolate. And I know Kim does that, so I might start doing that, because it was like I wasn't hungry enough for a mug cake, but you know, I wanted a little something. So I went ahead and had one of those So Delicious bars again. So I had that. So I'm good and satisfied. And then my plan for dinner is to have my what did I call it? It was a the taco crustless quiche. So yeah, I'd made up a couple of just, you know, big meals and planned to just reheat them, even though I get bored with it. It's a good, you know, fast, cheap way to eat. My sister is on day 3 of her loading, so I'm really excited about that. And she starts her VLCD tomorrow, so maybe during my P4 I can keep you updated with her journey to make it a little more interesting. Other than that, yeah, I had the body stat thing done. And if you guys have any suggestions about P4, if you've experienced anything with P4, I'd appreciate it. You know, my plan is not to, I don't plan on, you know, at first I thought, you know, I don't ever want to reintroduce, you know, sugars and starches as far as like the crazy things out there. But, and maybe I won't, but I was thinking the other day, you know, with Christmas coming up, I don't have a desire to pig out or to do any of that stuff. Just like I didn't at Thanksgiving, but at the same time, like I want to be in the life maintenance phase. And if I truly want to do that, I do kind of want to just test out, you know, how am I really going to do with this? I obviously don't want to put a lot in my body just because, you know, it's not good for us and there are hormonal effects and, you know, all of that. But, you know, I do want to test that out, which I might do that a little bit this Thursday because I have a big Christmas party and then another party that I'm going to. So we'll see. Everybody's doing great. Keep up the good work. Super proud of everyone, and you know, glad that there's just this community that I've been able to get so much support from. You know, it is a little bit of a bummer just because, you know, I still would like to lose the 9 pounds, but honestly, like, you know, it's just, I'm just not at that point, you know. I mean, running and working out is so important to it's like my therapy, you know. It's just important to me, and I help so many people through that. And I just, you know, it's something I just don't want to give up. But it is kind of frustrating to still feel that fat and still feel those things. You know, and really, it's, even though I'm 123, I really, literally, legitimately need a tummy tuck. And I think until that gets done, I'll just never feel comfortable in my own skin. You know, I've had these literally skin issues for 18 years. My son will be 18 on Friday. And, you know, I'm just not going to be comfortable with that because it is just so bad. It's not, you know, a little bit of skin, you know, somewhere like, you know, my sister's had 3 kids. She has a little bit of saggy skin. You know, it's way worse than that. So, I just think until that happens, I'm not ever going to feel comfortable. And I think if that did happen, I'm sure I would still find faults with myself, but I definitely wouldn't have the same issues with clothing and things like that. And losing weight definitely does help, but it's still, you know, it's there. But thank you guys so much for listening to me go on and on for almost 10 minutes and for following my journey all of this time. And of course, I plan to keep vlogging every day during P4 and, you know, maybe after P4, just because I do love this community so much, maybe I'll find something else to vlog about, whether